Alright guys, so I got another battle and this is with animalriot65. So I start off with Roserade using sleep powder and it hits it nicely. I switch out to Salamence and but he switches out to Miss Magius. So I let Salamence stay in because Miss Magius has weak defenses. So I go for Dragon Dance, goes for Will-O-Wisp, and it misses, so that's good. I go for one more, and his Will-O-Wisp hits, and that sucks. So I go for Dragon Claw to see how much damage it does to Miss Magius, and that does a pretty good chunk. He counters back with a Shadow Ball, and that does also good damage. So he switches out, and he goes to Swampert, and I let Salamence die here after the burn and the life orb. So I switch back to Roserade, and he switches back to Jolteon. I go for Energy Ball, and that does pretty good damage, so I let Roserade stay in and finish off Jolteon. Switches out to Miss Magius. I switch Roserade to Heatron, goes for Shadow Ball, and that does absolutely nothing. And right now he's telling me a little bit about like Heatron out and how I broke those rules about like no legendaries in this battle at all. So he sends out Typhlosion. I go for Dragon Pulse and it misses, so that's gay. I go for one more Dragon Pulse and that doesn't do anything. His Typhlosion finishes off Heatron with Focus Blast. So I switch to Milotic, and he switches out to Miltank. I use Surf, and that does pretty good damage. And I don't know what Miltank can do, so I switch to Metagross, and he uses Stealth Rock, so that's really junk. So he switches out back to Miss Magius, and I use Zen Headbutt to take out his Miss Magius. He switches out to Swampert, and I switch to Roserade, and then he uses a Hydro Pump, so Roserade takes it nicely. So he switches back to Venusaur, and I use Sleep Powder. And Roserade can't do anything, so I switch to Yanmega, but I forget that Stealth Rock is out there. So he sends out Miltank, and I protect to see what he'll do. He does fake it, and that is a really weird move for Miltank, considering how high its defenses are. He switches out and he goes to Typhlosion. I use Hypnosis and it hits, so that's good. I go for Air Slash, and that does a lot of damage to Typhlosion. So, seeing how much damage one Air Slash is done to a Typhlosion, he switches back to Miltank. I go for Air Slash. So, I go for Hypnosis and it hits, so that's great. And so right here, I was hoping that Yanmega could at least, if he could stay in to this point, he could probably sweep his entire party, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything else but his Miltank. But his Miltank wakes up, goes for Toxic, and it hits, so that was so gay. So he switches out, and he goes to Venusaur. I go for Bug Buzz, and that does less than half. So I'm gonna let Yanmega stay in. So I use Air Slash to take out his Venusaur, and Yanmega goes down from the poison. He sends out Miltank, and I send out Milotic. So I'm not afraid of whatever Miltank is gonna throw. And his first move he does is Milk Drink, so that's really stupid for me. So I hit it with Toxic, and I poison it, and he switches out, and he goes to Swampert because of that. So he goes for Toxic on my Milotic. I try to knock it down from Surf, but it lives, so that's really weird. So I know it's gonna milk drink from here, so I go for another Surf to see how much it does. And it does about a quarter still. And at this point, I was really hoping that that this and if Milk Tank had like Heal Bell right here, this would be a long stall battle. So Milk Tank from this point is just gonna keep using Milk Drink until Milotic's hit points reach yellow. So he goes for Fake Ed finally. It finally attacks. I knock out his Milk Tank with Surf, but Milotic goes down from the poison. So his last Pokemon he sends out is Typhlosion, and I have Roserade who's going to finish it off with Sludge Bomb. So great game, Animal Riot 65.